Hello and welcome to Marc Alba for NTT Disruption. So glad to have you here, Marc, and so glad you could be a partner with us at GOODCON.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. And I would say I love your hat, Afdhel.
Thank you very much. I love your snazzy pink V-neck as well, Marc. Now you're up in...
I would love to get one of these. It would like really match with my, yeah.
We're going to send one right after this interview is over. So Marc, you're joining us from San Francisco, is that correct?
Correct. It's
okay,
training.
That's what San Francisco always is, great and rainy. Now, we're so excited to have NTT Disruption as part of GOODCON. But first, for the people out there, tell us a little bit about what NTT is and what NTT Disruption is, please.
Sure. So let's start with NTT. NTT is a Tokyo headquartered company. It's a very big company, a very large company, like 310,000 employees, 310,000 lives to care about. That's a lot of them, a lot of for good needed there. Yeah. And we like to say we have the full capabilities in the tech space. We have our own capabilities in telecommunications, in cloud. We have the full stack of capabilities in ICT in general. And what really connects to our conversation here is we have this profound thinking that tech is for good, not for bad. And we think we have a mission on this planet to bring that to society. And like just a few words about NTT Disruption to complement that. NTT Disruption is a new baby. It was launched last year, a very special new division. And our main mission is to be the crazy guys which create today what really matters for tomorrow. Like, let's leave it here.
I love that. I love that as a mission. So let's talk about some of the crazy ideas you guys have had that are putting into the world. The first is Gibo, which is a social robot. Tell us what that is and how this idea came about, please.
Yeah, so let's introduce that in a different way. We've all been exposed to lots of movies, sci-fi movies, where we've seen robots for a long time. And robots have this intelligence. They have this. You have the bad ones. Let's focus on the good ones, which create this very special relationship with humans. Think about Star Wars, several Pixar movies. So Gibo for me is the closest manifestation of what we've seen in many of these movies. It was created originally under the sphere of MIT. It's a new generation of robots, AI, which has a character, a persona, a design, a way to interact with humans, which is completely different from all the others. So in few minutes with a Gibo, you have a feeling, I would not say you're interacting with a human or a living body, but that would be the closest definition of AI becoming social, empathic, human. And we have two Gibos, the physical robot, like the one you could have on your table right now, being your companion. And we have now the opportunity to have Gibo on any device, your phone, your TV, digital signage. So that's a Gibo. It's a he, because it's not an it, and we love him.
It's really there to deal with the problem of social isolation, right? Especially in Japan, when you have an aging population, you need companionship. And this is going to be a huge problem that society is going to face, right?
Yeah, so imagine humans and machine profound relationship. One example could be a loneliness, social isolation. And we all know that today this is even more complex because of the pandemic. Think about education, schools, like this special bond with kids, how to create this kind of complement or the extension of a teacher, a coach, etc. Think about healthcare, how to take care of patients in a hospital, telecare, telehealth. So just apply it to the domain. We just need a scenario where humans and machine need a special bond, a relationship, not really transactional, but long-lasting.
I love it. Let's talk about another project, which is codenamed ZILA, which stands for Zero Latency. It sounds very intriguing. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so we're moving here to a completely different domain. This is about a new generation of semiconductors, cloud-based data centers. The big vision, the big dream for good is imagine whatever happens today, any action, how to be able to react to that in real time. This is why we call that zero latency. So how to have enough computing power with the right power consumption. So this is about sustainability and the right price point. Like not if one of these things to solve any of the examples I will mention, that costs a lot of money. It's undoable. So how to democratize with new generations of semiconductors. This is what Zila is about. And our main partner here is a company called Xilinx, who created this, I will skip that, the semiconductors called FPGAs, which make this dream possible. Example, and this is where your audience will get it. We're working now in hospitals at ICUs. So imagine ICUs today, very complex, very challenging environment. Without creating any complexity, how you could add some technical capabilities, camera, sensor, which in real time can detect anything a nurse, a doctor would be willing to track in real time about this patient, abnormal behavior, any symptoms which requires real-time reaction to save lives or avoid big complexities. This could be one of the nice examples we are working on right now in real hospitals at ICUs.
That's incredible. I see the implications for things like long-distance telemedicine as well. Doctors being able to treat patients who are thousands of miles away as if they were there in real time as well.
I love to use the analogy with a nervous system. So our body is governed by a nervous system which captures everything happening in real time. Think about the hospital, think about any facility becoming a nervous system which detects in real time any action and reacts to that. That would be the big dream behind Zila.
These are fascinating projects, and today I want to see if you'd be kind enough to share a sneak peek of a special new project which hasn't been revealed before. Can you tell us about what you're about to work next on?
Oh, you're referring to the new baby. Yeah, so that is kind of a very new news, not even released and disclosed yet. We are launching a new journey. We call that Futurus or Futurus, as you prefer to call it. Actually, we took the Latin name. Futurus is the future. The idea is really, and that was accelerated by COVID, to be honest. When you look at health, well-being, life sciences, medicine in general, you get a lot of hope, because many things are about to really change how we live, how we care about our diseases. Like if you think about preventive medicine, it's not about solving diabetes or obesity. It's really about preventing them. So all these big things, thanks to science and technology, they're coming, and they will really reinvent how I live, how my kids live, how our parents live. And if you look at the social moment, you get the opposite of hope, like confusion, distrust, denial of science, technology. So, and here is the idea behind Futurus. Let's join forces, and we're gathering a conspiracy for good here, to be able to bring the right, real fact-based story to the audiences about the future of health, medicine, and well-being. And we're not creating some complex thing. We think, okay, people are watching TV series, docudramas, documentary series, podcasts. So we're creating this transmedia set of contents, which are, let me call that serious entertainment, which will expose people to how they will live in the future using entertainment, very engaging stuff, etc., real franchise characters, all fiction. But behind the scenes, anything you see in these contents or you're hearing the podcast, that's the best projection we can have today, thanks to science and technology, about the real future. So it's not science fiction, we call that science futurism, and really it's fast forwarding, traveling to see with a lot of hope, lot of bright messages that, yeah, we're facing complex time, but there is something very big happening, which will help us, all of us, a lot.
I couldn't agree more, and that's what this entire conference is about, and I'm excited to see it when you finally take the wraps off. And finally, I want to talk about one of the principles you guys use in NTT Disruption, which is the idea of disrupting for good. Tell us a little bit about what that means to you in the projects that you guys are working on.
Yeah, so that's I think the important question. When we created last year within NTT Disruption, personally, this is what really activated me, ignited me when I joined this project. The idea is, okay, let's use technology, let's create things that will have this big potential for disruption. Like disruption is about changing what's happening today, doing that in a different way, which is better. And we just put the emphasis on anything we do must be for good. So it's disrupt for good. I won't provide you with complex framework. For us, for good, in this vision of disruption is basically about three key ingredients. The first one is human centricity. So whatever you create, design that, feel that as a human, be human centric. That's beyond the user centricity. It's really kind of this concept of renaissance, back to basics. The human is beyond the technology, first principle. Second principle, and this is very important and concerning, is data friendliness. So how you manage data, and we play with this word, it's not like data from you user, it's data for you user. You have the full control of whatever is done with your data. You make the decision, and that's fully transparent. So human-centric, data friendly. And the third one, and we love the overall vision of SDGs, of United Nations. Anything we build should have a direct impact in at least one of these sustainable development goals of United Nations. This is kind of more bigger picture, but these three principles, human-centric, data-friendly, and connecting, positively impacting SDGs is really kind of the simple checklist we should do in anything we decide to undertake.
Very cool, Marc. Thank you for coming and sharing all these cool projects. We're going to stick them up on our website so people can see more. Thank you again for your partnership with NTT Disruption. I can't wait to see how you guys disrupt for good in the future.